in my mug, episode 379 on Monday the 15th of February 2016. I'm your host Stephen Layton. Welcome to In My Mug. Welcome to the news. So first of all, I guess this is my platform to kind of talk to lots of people. So I'd like to make a public apology. This public apology is to the Royal Mail Postal Service for all of the Valentine's Day cards and gifts they had to deliver to me because I'm such a hottie. But didn't get any. Nothing. Nobody loves me. Oh well. There are lots of new El Limons, some special processes, special varietals gone on the site this week. One of them is going to be in my mug in a few weeks' time, so I don't know which one yet. But if you may want to try them all together, you asked me to tell you, and I will be able to tell you in a couple of weeks which one it will be then, because I still haven't decided. But yeah, El Limon, a fantastic farm in Guatemala, and next bit of news really kind of flows on from that. I'm going to be there next week with Beto. I'm going to try and record In My Mug for the one in a couple of weeks' time with him as well, but we'll see how that works out. I'm not sure yet. Going out to Guatemala because my friend's out there getting married out there, who lives there. Going to go to his wedding, which I'm also excited about. And coffees that won't be making In My Mug, because last time I did it, you beat me up, episode 200. Go take a look. It is a decaf. It is a decaf from Colombia, an old favourite called El Meridiano. It is a delicious decaf, and I'm not just saying that. It really is a delicious coffee on its own, and it happens to be decaffeinated. Definitely give that a whirl. And that was the news. Moving swiftly on to Focus On. This week, the Focus On is on the varietal Caturra. So, Caturra is a coffee varietal originating in Brazil, but kind of there still, but not one of the leading ones that gets used. It is a mutant from the Bourbon varietal. Like Bourbon, it shares many of its negative aspects. So it's not very pest resistant, it can be difficult to grow, it has a fairly low yield. Caturra is slightly higher yield than Bourbon, but it's still pretty low yielding. But it tends to be tasty. The other bonus of it as well is that you can plant it in a very high density in the area. So you can have around about 10,000 plants per hectare, where it's normally around about 6,000 plants. And they can be as little as a metre apart, so they can be much closer together than typical varietals. And it's also a dwarf varietal, which means that less likely to be hit by wind and much easier to pick because it's lower to the ground. And that was Focus On. So this week's coffee is a Bolivian coffee, and coffee production traditionally was kind of concentrated in the Los Yungas region, where it's very subtropical. It meant that coffee grew very easily, and that's kind of where lots of it came from. This is from the north of Yungas, so this is from Caranavi, which, like, if you've watched In My Mug, you know where Caranavi is, but it's located in the department of La Paz City. It's about 150 kilometres from the capital, and has now become the centre of Bolivian coffee production. There is so many great coffees coming from there. It really is putting everybody else into the shade. They are focused on coffee there because they have a really good mill that will do lots of the processing for them, and it means that coca is not so popular there, whereas in South Yungas, where it used to be the hotbed, that's what they're growing now, is coca for the coca leaves. There are many complications in Bolivian coffee. The coffee industry is very small, producers are very small, there is no access to education, there are no agronomists, and really nobody knows how to grow good coffee there. The other problem is that there are exporting problems. So the government is quite a closed government, so it's difficult to get coffee out. And that's where AgriCaf, who have become our partners over the past few years, the exporters, help us. They are helping producers by feeding information. We were part of a program last year where we paid I think it was a 7-cent premium on every coffee that we bought to fly in an agronomist to talk to producers. And if you remember from a few weeks ago when we did the Vincent Payet, he had a lot of help with that. But the other thing that AgriCalf are trying to do is they're investing in the area. So they realised that coffee producers were getting less and less, so they've started to spend money on buying farms themselves. And this is the first of the project that's actually starting to produce. On the farm they have Caturra, Catai, Typica, Java, SL28, Bourbon, all things that are really exciting to taste in Bolivia. The other interesting part about this, and I think it's great, is that this is an all-woman run picking farm. So all of the picking has been done by one small group of highly trained women who are getting work in Caranavi, so not having to go to La Paz. And it's a really good project. I mean, it really is. Every time I go, I'm seeing it develop, and I've been there since the first plantings right through to this one now starting to produce. So I'm very excited to be able to share it with you. So this is from it's a Bolivian coffee from the farm La Linda, which is in the Los Yungas region. Altitude of 1400 to 1500 meters above sea level. It is it's one of those hybrid kind of pulp washed stroke things, but they're saying it's washed, so we'll go with that. And the varietal is Red Caturra, which we talked about at the start. So now we should go to this week's map bit. So here we are, I'm waving, bye everybody, up and away. That roof really needs tidying on, has been. But anyway, we're going across the Atlantic and we're going to South America. Not Central America where we normally go, but we're going to the wonderful Bolivia. And Bolivia, as we know, one of my favourite places. And we always like the interesting facts. So the most dangerous road in the world is the Bolivian Road of Death that I've cycled down 5 times now, because I'm dead brave. Dead brave. But we're zooming down, and we're going to zoom down to La Linda, which is the farm that we're talking about today. And unfortunately, this day it was a little cloudy. That tends to be what happens. But while I was there last time, we had breakfast, and you can see all the breakfast items here. It was absolutely idyllic. You can see it was a little bit cloudy that day on the photos as well, so it must have been the day that Google Earth was scanning, looking for what I was having. But it was absolutely gorgeous, beautiful place to sit and enjoy breakfast and take in the whole of the Bolivian scenery. Great mountain range that's around Caranavi here. You can see all of the other farms that we buy from. There's so many farms around here that we love to work with. Caranavi is not far away. We should talk about the points. So the lowest point is 90 metres above sea level, which is Rio, Paraguay. And the highest is Nevado, Somalia, which is 6,500 metres above sea level, which is just crazy altitude. At that altitude, yeah, you're really tough to breathe. But there's Caranavi there, so you can see it's not far away. In fact, if you go to the top of the farm, you can see Caranavi the other side. It's just a beautiful, picturesque farm. And that was this week's map bit. I don't know how that map bit's going to work out because I couldn't find many photos from there that I have, but hopefully we'll be able to cobble something together. Talking of cobbling together, Roland, give us your daft fact of the week. Do you like my hat? In Bolivia, this is traditional wear. But there's an interesting story behind why the ladies of Bolivia all wear these very small hats. In the 1800s, the British were out there building railways. For all of their railway staff, they decided they were going to have bowler hats. But when they sent them, they were all too small. So, not wanting to waste their hats, they told all of the indigenous ladies that it was very fashionable back in Europe to wear a small hat. Now, today, they still wear these hats. Damn English! It's a true story. These hats, they wear them like this on the back of their heads. You see them everywhere when you're walking around, and it all comes from the British ordering the wrong size hats for all of their railway works in the 1800s. Everywhere I go when I'm buying coffee, I have to apologise for anything that we may have done. But this is one of the better things we've done, because the women look really cool with them on. And it really has become a Bolivian thing, so yeah. Okay, I'm going to whap you on pause, going to go and make tasty and delicious drinks. Be back with you in just a second. Back in the room. To talk about the hats, I wanted to show you this. I don't know whether I'm making it go all out of focus and terribly bad, but these are the hats, and this is the story that I got told about the hats. So that was a Christmas present from Agricaf, who own this farm. So I thought it was quite relevant. So let's dive into the espresso before it goes too cold. Now, I found this on the cupping table, but I find it even more in the espresso. You know, like, you get dark chocolate sweets, you know, like in a box of chocolates, and you get those raspberry creams with the dark chocolate. Not a little bit. It doesn't taste like it. It is it. It's a raspberry cream with dark chocolate. It is... It is really, really, really good. Right, Chemex done. I'm just going to pour it out before I have the... Oh, spilled everywhere. Look at these mugs. I love this colour combination with the saucer and the mug. It's actually not meant to be that way, but it's a mistake. Well, it's not. Chris thought about it because Chris set this up with Katie this morning, and yeah. Now, I worried the milk would kill a lot of those flavours, but it just tastes like... Still got the cappuccino beard. It tastes of raspberry chocolate and milk, and it's nice. It's really good. It just... Yeah. It's a great It tastes so much like raspberry. I'm tasting it now. I know, but I really am. This is like big time flavours. Now the brewed, you get all those things again. You get the raspberry cream, dark chocolate. What you do get with that is you get a very clean coffee, and you get to taste a lot of the texture. So it's a very creamy aftertaste. It's got a really velvety, thick texture. This is awesome coffee. Like, this is so good. This is like one of the best I've seen come out of Bolivia certainly this year. And you're all getting it first. Like, go see other roasters, see how much Bolivian they've got. This is all new crop Bolivian, and it's been here for 2 months. Like, we've literally got that first container out. We have a great relationship with the exporters. They really are our friends, and I can't wait to go and see them again in July, August, and see how this farm's developing, and hopefully start to see some more of those varietals come through as well. Listen, I'm rambling. Thank you very much for joining me as always. Yeah, very much look forward to in a couple of weeks doing the one on location on the farm. I'm just bigging this one up, and I don't even know if I can do it yet. I'm still waiting for Beto to come back and confirm he's free, but if not, you'll get me doing it in a hotel room somewhere. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me, and do remember, life is definitely too short for bad coffee.